Good morning, students of class 10. You are welcome back to the online classes now. Let us continue our lesson in history, the rise of nationalism in Europe. We are doing 3.0, the age of revolution, 1830 to 1848. That is 18 years. Within these 18 years, what happened? Before going through this, let us go a little bit back. Once the Napoleon was defeated by four powers, they combined, they unitedly fought. Britain, Prussia, Austria, even Russia, they unitedly fought, and Napoleon was he was defeated. Now, after that, these four powerful kingdoms, they met at Vienna. They had an agreement and they restored the overthrown kings back to their thrones again. A Bourbon conservative system was implemented. They wanted to restore the conservative order. That's why those kings who were overthrown by Napoleon, they were restored. After that, let's begin now. As conservative regime, these kings who were overthrown, they were put back and they began to rule the various parts of Europe which were previously conquered by Napoleon. Now these conservative regime tried to consolidate means unite, they united, these kings, they united, consolidate their power. They tried to consolidate their power so that if anyone tries to overthrow the king, other kings will support him. That's unite, consolidate means to unite their power. And they were conservatives because these four powers, Britain, Russia, Prussia, Austria, according to the Treaty of Vienna after 1815, so these kings, they were made king again and they tried to unite themselves. The educated middle class, as we have already learnt in our previous class, new social order, new society, a second class who are educated. This we are talking about that. The educated middle class, among whom were professors, doctors, lawyers, school teachers, clerks, even business community, commercial class, started the revolution. They started the revolution. In our previous class we have learned that. The peasants also started the revolution, but they had no programs, no finance, no programs, no ideas, and they failed and they were oppressed by the kings. But now, the educated middle class, even they had finance, they were commercial class, they were rich, they were educated, and they had money and plans. So now the educated middle class, they started the revolution and the peasants supported them. In this way, the revolution became a success. So now here, they started the revolution. Where the revolution started at first, then it spread, we'll talk about it. The first upheaval means disturbance. The first upheaval took place in France in July 1830. In 1830, that's the month of July, the first upheaval took place in France against the conservative kings. The Bourbon kings, who had been restored by these four powers after the Treaty of Vienna. The Bourbon kings, number of small kingdoms and the kings. The Bourbon kings who had been restored to power after the fall of Napoleon or after the Treaty of Vienna, These kings were overthrown by liberal revolutionaries. One by one, they were overthrown by liberal revolutionaries. Liberal revolutionaries means these educated middle class, who installed a constitutional monarchy. They overthrew these restored monarchy one by one, and they started constitutional monarchy. In France also the same thing happened. King Louis was he was elected as a constitutional monarch, and later on he was removed and he was tried by the tribunal. So these kings were overthrown by liberal revolutionaries who they put up a constitutional monarchy. They set up a constitutional monarchy, and later on they were removed with Louis Philippe at its head. Louis Philippe was at the head and constitutional monarchy. So now let's talk about here one conservative. He was the chief minister, prime minister. Metternich once said, Metternich, he was a conservative. Once he said, when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. He said, means what does this mean? Explain. Suppose if you are given, Metternich said, when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. Please explain. This means that if anything happens, if any event takes place in France, it will definitely have an effect all over Europe. It will spread all over Europe. This means that. So when France sneezes, the rest of Europe catches cold. Who said this? The Metternich. As enough. The July Revolution. Here the revolution, first revolution, then it spread all over. The July Revolution started an uprising in Brussels. In Brussels, the uprising started by this middle class order, educated middle class. So uprising in Brussels led to the Belgium breaking away from Netherlands, United Netherlands. So Belgium broke away from Netherlands and became independent. This event from here, breaking away of Belgium from Netherlands, this event mobilized nationalist feelings among the elite means educated middle class all over Europe. This event sparked the nationalist feeling among the educated middle class all over Europe, and they started the uprising all over. So this was the beginning point. That's why I have mentioned over here. The July Revolution sparked an uprising in Brussels. First, in Brussels, led to the Belgium of breaking away from the United Netherlands, or you can say Netherlands, and this event mobilized the nationalist feeling among the educated middle class, or you can say one word, elite, all over Europe, and the revolution started all over Europe. In every country revolution took place or started, and very soon, one by one, all the kings, Bourbon kings, were removed, and or they became constitutional monarchy, and after that they became a nation state. So in this way, the age of revolution, 1830 and 1848, it did not happen within 1 year. It took a long time. That's why you can say 1830 to 1848. It took almost 18 years. It took time. The progress was slow but steady. So we'll talk about more in our next class. That's all for today. Stay safe. Go through online portal every day so that you will not miss anything. Every day I am telling you. So it will help you to learn easily. There are points, but in the book there are long paragraphs are there. You can't memorize everything, but I have selected certain points so that it will help you. 6-7 points every time. Then you can easily remember those things properly according to the headings. According to the headings there are points. So in each heading there are various events that takes place. If you read all at a time, naturally you will get confused. The dates will be confused, the places will be confused. So everything will be mixed up. So be careful, and only thing you need to go through the book as well. Go through the book and listen to the classes. It becomes very clear. You can't get confused. You will not get confused. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class and continue our lesson. Thank you very much for watching the video. So that's all for today.